Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at some more examples of graphing linear inequalities. So in the last video we looked at an example where we were given a picture and we had to identify which of the inequalities the picture represented. Here we're doing kind of the opposite. We are given the inequality and now we're going to draw the solution set. So in these problems, the very first thing you should do is identify the boundary line. The boundary line is going to be, for the most part, the same as the inequality given, except the inequality symbol will be switched with an equals symbol. And so once we know what the value of the boundary line is, we graph that line. I know that my y-intercept is -5, so I can start here. And my slope being 2/3 means that if I go 3 places to the right, I have to go up 2 units. All right, and here's my boundary line. The next thing that we want to do after we've figured out what the boundary line looks like is whether or not it's going to be itself included in the solution set to the linear inequality. So we do that by looking at the inequality symbol. Since we're looking at a greater than or equal to, this is going to be a solid boundary line. So I'm in pretty good shape. Now all I need to do is figure out upon which side of this line do these solutions lie. And to do that, it's pretty easy. We just want to pick a test point. We can choose any point that is not on the line to help us figure out where the solutions are. The origin 0, 0 is a really good choice because it is super fast to compute what both sides of the inequality are. So once you've chosen a test point, again, can be anything that's not on the line, we're going to plug those values into the inequality. Once we do that, we then check if we have a true statement. So if I simplify, I would get 0 is greater than or equal to -5, which is true. So that means the solutions to this linear inequality are on the same side of the line as 0, 0. And then what we do is shade in the solution region. Okay, so that's the solution set. Next example, we want to graph the solution set of this linear inequality, which is 2x minus 3y is less than 6. Again, first thing that I want to do is identify the boundary line. Then what I have to do is graph. And you can use whatever method that you like best for graphing to figure out where the line is. I'm going to use the intercepts. So I'm going to find the y-intercept and the x-intercept and graph it that way. All right, so my x-intercept is 3. And my y-intercept is -2. So now let's graph those. The x-intercept being 3 means it's right here, and the y-intercept being -2 means it's right here. So those are the 2 points that define the line, and then I want to draw my line through those points. The next conversation we have to have is whether or not this boundary line is included in the solution set. So we take a look at the original inequality. You see that the inequality is strict, so that means that the line needs to be dashed. The last step here is to pick a test point that's not on the boundary line. I'm going to go to Old Faithful, 0, 0, and check whether or not that point works. Okay, so since 0 is less than 6, solutions are going that way. Then we just fill it in. And there we have it for the graphing of linear inequalities in two variables. Next up, we're going to be starting our discussion on relations and functions, which is super important.